Most people live surprisingly close to the global economy. The clothes we wear, the devices we use, the food we eat, much of it passes through ports. Yet for most of us, ports feel distant, hidden, and strangely inaccessible. You can live in a coastal city your entire life and never actually see one up close. This isn't accidental. Ports are designed to be hard to access, not because they're secretive, but because openness is the enemy of efficiency at this scale. To understand why, you first have to understand what modern ports actually are. They're not places for ships, they're places for containers. Since containerization took over global trade, ports became highly specialized industrial systems. Their job is no longer to welcome vessels, it's to move standardized metal boxes between ships, trucks, and trains as quickly and predictably as possible. Every extra person, vehicle, or decision point slows that process down. That's the first reason ports feel closed off. They're designed around flow, not visibility. A modern container terminal operates like a factory. Cranes, vehicles, and storage yards move in tightly controlled patterns, optimized for throughput. Human access is not just unnecessary, but it's disruptive. This is why ports are physically separated from the public realm. High fences, limited entry points, and controlled roads aren't about secrecy. They're about preventing interference in a system that runs continuously, often 24 hours a day. There's also the issue of scale. Ports handle volumes that are difficult to grasp intuitively. A single, large container ship can carry tens of thousands of containers. Each one represents a financial asset, a contractual obligation, and often a regulatory responsibility. Letting the public wander through that environment isn't just impractical, it's risky. Which brings us to the second major factor: security. Ports sit at the intersection of international borders, commerce, and critical infrastructure. They're points where goods enter and leave countries, making them natural targets for theft, smuggling, and sabotage. As a result, access is tightly regulated. Background checks, identification systems, surveillance, and restricted zones are standard. Even workers with legitimate reasons to be there are often limited to specific areas. For the average person, this creates the impression that ports are intentionally hidden. In reality, they're simply controlled. Another reason ports feel inaccessible is that they're rarely designed for people at all. Historically, ports were public spaces. Ships docked near city centers. Goods were unloaded manually. Dock workers, merchants, and residents mixed freely. Containerization changed that. Modern ports require vast amounts of flat land, deep water access, and buffer zones for noise and traffic. That pushes them away from walkable urban areas and toward industrial outskirts. The result is a physical and psychological separation between cities and their ports. Even when a port is technically nearby, it often feels far away. Infrastructure reinforces this separation. Roads leading to ports are designed for heavy vehicles, not pedestrians. In many cases, there's no obvious way in, because there's no reason for most people to enter. Ports are also optimized for predictability, not exploration. Every container is tracked, every movement is scheduled. Deviations create delays that ripple across supply chains. Allowing unrestricted access introduces uncertainty, something modern logistics systems are designed to eliminate. This is why ports often look empty from the outside, even when they're incredibly busy inside. The work is happening at a scale and speed that doesn't require human presence in the way we expect from public spaces. There's also an economic reason ports remain inaccessible. Port land is extremely valuable, but not in the way city land is. Its value comes from function, not frontage. Ports generate revenue by moving goods efficiently. Any design choice that prioritizes public engagement over operational efficiency is seen as a cost, not a benefit. Another factor is jurisdiction. Ports often operate under different legal and administrative frameworks than the surrounding city. Customs, immigration, and international trade regulations apply within port boundaries. This creates layers of authority and responsibility that don't exist in normal urban spaces. From a design perspective, the easiest solution is separation, fewer access points, fewer crossings, clear boundaries. All of this contributes to a sense that ports are off limits, even though they're central to everyday life. What's interesting is how consistent this is around the world. Ports in different countries, under different governments, follow remarkably similar patterns: restricted access, industrial aesthetics, minimal public presence. That's because the underlying constraints are the same: standardized containers, global shipping schedules, tight margins, enormous volumes. The system rewards control and punishes openness. So when you find yourself driving past a port, seeing cranes in the distance, and realizing you have no idea how to get closer, that's not an oversight. It's a reflection of how modern trade works. Ports aren't designed to be seen, they're designed to function, and the smoother they operate, the less visible they become.